What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Rennch, and we're sort of doing a funky episode today. Creality sent me a 3D printer, and when I first got it, I thought, man, I'm not sure if I can find enough uses for this. And then I went online, and I went on YouTube, and I saw all the different ways people use these things, and now I'm totally stoked to set this up. So this is the brand new Creality Hi, or HI, or however they say it, and it's got their little separate feeder for 4 other colors. I've never 3D printed anything before, so let's get this thing set up and see if I can print a little test print, and we'll see how it goes. This is their CFS, which is this kind of cool automated filament system. I'm imagining it stands for Creality Filament System. And you could put 4 different filaments inside this bad boy. And they have RFID scanning on them. So it will automatically recognize what filament is in and what color it is. The real benefit of this printer in general is that it's a full color printer. So you can do all these really cool, complex things. That's why I was like, man, I'm not sure if I can use this. I can't figure out what I might want to print that is full color. But now that I've seen there's all these millions of other uses for it, I'm stoked. All right, here's my directions. Step 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy enough. This is supposed to be really easy to set up, by the way. I will say the packaging is pretty spectacular. Wow, this is burly. This is the gantry, and I love that it's something called a gantry. It just looks very Tron, doesn't it? This whole thing reminds me of Tron, the original video game that I used to play in the 80s. They actually give you all the tools you need to set this thing up as well. Some little needly device that I'm sure clears clogs or something like that. These bad boys, which are some cutters, which I'm going to use right now. A couple Allen keys. Looks like some kind of lube or glue or something. Man, I will tell you, this thing feels really solid. I don't know a thing about 3D printers, obviously, but it just feels burly. I guess I slide the tray forward, and then here comes my gantry, which goes there and there. Oh, wow. Awesome. All right, let me throw the screws in, do a little basic setup here. I'll be back in a sec. All right, so I've got the basics set up with this red filament on here. And right now it's going through a full check. I have not yet hooked up this CFS setup. But that will be after this. I guess we just double check and make sure the thing's working well first. And yeah, it's heating up and I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hold the phone. It's moving around and doing things. Cutter check. Check out that cutter. So since this is my first 3D printer, I'm assuming that all of these things that it's doing used to be a huge pain. And this is saving me loads of time. I can just tell by all the calibrations it's doing and the fact that it's auto leveling this, which is obviously the most important part. You can just tell that they put a lot of effort into making this the easiest thing possible for a brand new user like me. So I'm all set up. It took a little while to get the firmware and everything all going, but I found this RWB body and I think I'm gonna try to print it. I just threw the red in there. I don't know if it's gonna work, but we'll see. I gotta go somewhere in a few minutes, so I think I'm just gonna maybe watch it start. And then here we go, guys, the first 3D print. Oh. I don't know how long it's gonna take. I guess it tells you how long it's gonna go. There's a huge volume of print files online, everything from tool holders to widgets to figurines. Tons of Porsche stuff, lots of bodies. And yeah, in fact, I just had a really good idea of what I'm going to use this thing for my Subaru swap kit. So hopefully this thing starts doing some work and we'll see how long it takes. Okay, something's happening. So this surface is really hot. I mean, presumably it fires the filament out and kind of starts melting. Things are moving along here. Okay, some progress. Now the status bar is showing it's going to be 5 hours and 47 minutes. And this thing's just been going through a whole lot of hullabaloo. and maybe it's calibrating. I have yet to see anything actually be printed. One of the really cool things, and I'll see if I can record this, is that this is a camera right there in the corner, and you can keep track of your prints. Literally using the app, you can follow along with what your print is doing, and it'll even do a time lapse. If I'd had a little more time, I would have just printed like a little Rennch logo or something, and that would have been fun for first print. I can do that at some point, but this is just really cool to see it calibrate and kind of do its thing. I'm gonna be back in a few hours and see how this thing goes. I was just about to walk out the door and look, something started happening. We finally got some red printing, so we'll keep checking on it. All right, we're gonna check on the print. I'm not optimistic since I've never done it before. Let's see. That is amazing. Let's turn this on really quick. And okay, this didn't go as planned. This doesn't look like an RWB Porsche to me. You know. Okay, all right. Man, we got so close. This one, just maybe a couple of little tweaks in printing. So this is pretty cool. As I'm loading this CFS, you just literally have to feed the wire here. And it automatically goes through this whole process, reads the RFID tag, and then will automatically detect what you have. It's pretty cool. There it is. Shows up as that black PLA. Super freaking cool, I think. Now, load the last one. And yes, I have a whole like Philadelphia Phillies, Pittsburgh Steelers thing going on here. Let's not think that that was an accident, you guys. So the other thing I did is I picked up some Creality Hyper 3D printer carbon fiber. So this is PLACF. Really good for automotive use, obviously. So I'm gonna store this here in the extra spool holder, figure out what I'm doing with these, and then this will be something I can use to actually like make some real parts. Okay, I've done like a ton of configuring and things and started trying to learn the Creality 6 scan software. And I'm gonna hit send print here. This gives me a live broadcast. That's kind of cool. And I don't know what happened. So I've got a little test thing here, which is like a 2-color deal. So we're gonna try to use the red and the white. And I should probably calibrate it again, but I didn't. It's not asking me to. And then this thing's gonna do its thing, and hopefully we have slightly better results than the last time. Look at that, that's so cool, isn't it? You get that full action. Yeah, so this thing will actually show you live camera view that while you're doing other things, it'll show you how your print's going. Okay, so now this print is in. That's cool. I guess I'm just gonna let it do its thing. Shout out to 3D Rundown on YouTube. I've just watched a couple of his videos to set this whole thing up. I learned a ton from his videos, so thank you, dude. You were awesome. This is gonna do its thing now, and I will check back in when we get a little bit closer. All right, this is where I see if I did any of this right. So now this is feeding the red, and it's in there. It's all the way through doing red things. Heating up, I believe, in the nozzle. And what I've got here is this sort of double color print. So it's red on the bottom, white on the top. And in theory, this should heat up the red and start making the base somewhere in the middle of the board here, which is hot. So it's melty and then it's melty and it stacks on itself. Obviously, it's how 3D printers work. Oh, damn, bro. It's got some dance moves. Okay, so I'm back just a couple seconds later. Pretty interesting that I think this little plate that it made over here was just a little calibration, because now it's completely centered on the plate and it's doing kind of a diagonal thing and appears to be laying down the first layer of this object. So this whole thing here must have been some sort of calibration. Things going much better the second time around. This thing's cruising right along. Looks like the base is almost done. And for whatever reason, it's printing this thing in the corner as well. I have no idea what it is, but maybe it's just a calibration thing that it does automatically the first time. But it's just kind of like a base with a vertical block on it. Okay, let's try this again. See how this one turned out compared to the last one. Hey, look at that. That looks like a 3D print, you guys. Come on, what happens now? Will this just pop off? What do you do? How do you make it? How do you make it not stick? What happens now, everybody? Okay. Maybe that's what these little poker things are for. I got like a little poker thing. Is that what you suppose that's what this thing's for? To make it not be here? No, that didn't do anything. All right, so let's see here. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. What do you do here? You sort of bend it a little? Do you get a little bendy? All right, hold on, I need two hands. Okay, I think I broke it loose. Yeah, there it is. Cool. Look at that, Benny. Look, it's a 3D printed thing. Maybe for your rings. You can stick your rings on it or something. Cool. All right, I printed something, you guys. Good job, Creality. Even if I can do it, you guys can definitely do it. Holy moly. So to wrap this video up, first of all, I wanted to say that this Creality Hi combo is $519, and that is the 3D printer itself and then this CFS, all of these extra filaments. At the beginning of this video, I was like, what am I going to do with all these different colors of filaments? But as I continue to learn more about this world, I can see where these things can come in a huge amount of handy. I wanted to do one kind of practical project with this thing before I logged off on this video. And there's this huge community in the 3D printing world where they will create a file and share it with everybody, especially when it comes to organizing, toolboxes and workshops and things like that. There's a storage protocol that somebody invented, and it's called Gridfinity. And basically it relies on these 42 millimeter grids, and they have all of these different boxes that can organize your tools. In this case, I literally just searched for Icon, which is Harbor Freight's higher end, snap-on type tools. But I searched for Icon Torx, Torx. So future me, really quick, I've added, so I did my little prototype. So this is what the Icon case looks like that all the different Torx bits get shipped in. And I decided, let me try to print another one. And look at this bad boy. Boom. How awesome is that? Little Steelers colors, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. But how awesome is that? Easily labeled. You can easily see what's there. So I'm just gonna do my whole toolbox exactly like this and have like incredible recognition of that screwdriver's not there. Anyway, so this is super cool. I'm super psyched. Thank you, Creality. Really awesome. And I am now very optimistic about what I can do with this 3D printer in the workshop. You guys, thanks for watching. As always, we'll talk to you soon. See you later.